narrative. Whatever you're proposing to do, you have to be able to articulate what need does it address specifically. You have to have outstanding services that you can demonstrate that you continuously improve. Absolutely. And you need to be able to describe why they're unique, why they're world-class, how you benchmark them, how you've stolen shamelessly from other people who do that good work, that you're not reinventing the wheel. You need to provide evidence of impact. I have a very good friend who's the CEO of another energy company. The first question he asked me before he wrote a check, he said, you know, I think you do great work, but I have one question. Tell me what your measures of impact are. Tell me how you know you're making any progress towards your goals. What do you use for evidence? And those are the three: infrastructure development, meaning the kind of curriculum that people choose, the organization of various professional development, the material support system. We have a model, a systemic reform model that we monitor that infrastructure development. The quality of the teaching, and eventually impact on student learning. We collect student learning data from three sources: case study information, which is state-given tests. We partner with academic institutions like Vanderbilt, and they conduct quasi-experimental design studies. We don't do that work. We would not have any credibility if we conducted our own evaluation. And now we're in the process of trying to get a randomized control study and case study information, that evidence, so we can scale. You need, besides yourself, to have outstanding leaders, people who can advocate and understand all this work, know how to talk to people about this work in sound bites, the elevator ride. Busy executives like myself do not have time to read a lot, listen to a lot. We really need to be able to digest in a very succinct way. Tell me what you have and how I can add value to what you're doing and how you can add value to me. You can tell I've become much more business-oriented. But you also need to have knowledge and skills to develop strategic plans. A lot of people do a lot of little discrete things, but they don't knit it all together, and they don't think in chunks of 5 years. You have to know what you're doing 1 year, but you certainly need to know how to describe to somebody where you're going and how you know what it will look like 5 years from now. And then you need to look at short-term and long-term funding. We do cultivation charts. At any point in time, we have 20 or 30 companies and foundations we're cultivating. It takes 2 to 3 years before somebody will write a check. The last final handshake is a proposal, not the first. It's about all that work. It's about relationship building. So, finally, short-term, long-term funding. Right now, I can tell you that when I look at long-term funding, I'm now starting quasi-endowments. And so I've now have to learn how to do capital campaigns and memberships. So I'm always pushing myself. But I'm getting, the thing that I've learned from a lot of really smart people from the academy is find people that are smarter than you are, teach them, have them teach you to do what you do, or leverage them. So for us, we have to write proposals, we have to get gifts, we manage fees for service, and now we're building endowments. So what are the lessons learned? This is a little bit about what Jose and Jorge were saying. It is absolutely important that you build a core of strategic advocates, and boy, we would be nowhere in the United States if we hadn't built that with the business community. And we wouldn't be scaled in any state. And it's specific business people. It's the R&D division of science and engineering companies. You don't have to teach them about why this is important. They get it. If they don't have that background, then you have to work on that as well. A lot more labor, a lot more time. So We scaled in Delaware because we got the senior VP for R&D from DuPont. And he got Agilent, and we got a whole coalition there. And then they helped us get companies in Washington State. You have to find a way to manage all that. I would tell you it is imperative that you create a STEM advisory board. We will not work in any urban community, state, or region because education in the United States is so unstable. Houston has had 3 different superintendents in the 5 years we've been there. We're on the move to create an advisory board in which the superintendent will sit on that board. So when a new superintendent comes in, there will be 20 other people there to hold him accountable for not wiping out the science program. Those companies are willing to put a lot of money on the table, but not if a superintendent's going to come in and just change everything overnight, which is the current superintendent just did. So when people come to us and want us to work in an urban community, our first criteria is if you want to partner with us, you have to agree to do a board. We've done a board in New Orleans, we've done 10 boards in Washington State, we've done one in Delaware, and now we're working on one in Houston. You have to work with that board, and you can't hand them things. You got to get them to own a strategic plan and do what is called a SWOT analysis, a strength, weakness, opportunity, threat analysis, and disseminate that. You got to make the case for this. And this doesn't take very long. We did this in Indiana. It took us 6 months. We created a board in Indiana, did a strategic plan, a SWOT analysis, and now the Eli Lilly Foundation is giving them millions because they have this in place. And then finally, develop a plan for diversification. I know intuitively you think it should all be funded by the government. Whoa, dangerous ground to be on is our experience. Alabama is investing millions in reform. It's all coming from the governor. We're all holding our breath because when he leaves, if his successor doesn't maintain this, the whole investment in Alabama will go under. And so we're working with them on this number 4. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you.